And now, a little bit more.
Hey, my name's Austin, and you're watching Disney Channel. I've been waiting all day to say that.
Wait, do the thing.
Ow.
Do the
You got it. You got it.
yeah.
Damn it! I wish I
You
had
gotta
something
gesture.
cool.
On camera.
Like a glow stick.
I have no glow
Oh
sticks.
my goodness.
Hey, we're here to talk. Because you guys seem like you've been going through some things and you need some stuff to talk about. So, we've came here to talk about some Megamorphs.
Ooh boy.
The Megamoles, if you will.
The human...
Megamorphs.
The Megamorphs. I don't know.
Where was that heat? Where was that heat before we recorded them, man? Come on.
I saved it explicitly.
We normally have a checklist for this, don't we? It's been a while since we've done a Hirac Delest. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me look at it. So, fuck that one. We start with fan questions.
Get off Tinder.
That hit me late.
Yeah, that's a slow burn on that one.
So,
I like that Rock Delest is centered on Cory's face.
Yeah, it's like he's
It's
saying
only him talking.
now a little bit.
Nice.
Let's just jump into the fan questions.
Shit.
Right on.
We'll get those. We'll address those and then go to our other stuff. So the first one is from Tony's90 on our Discord. He says, as someone who listens and doesn't stream the sessions, how much time or effort did you put into your backstory? There seems to be a lot of interaction and background knowledge with some of the NPCs. How much of that is character driven versus what Austin gave you? Who wants to go first? All right,
I'll
Nate.
volunteer.
All right, Q.
Shit.
All right, one of you.
Okay. I mean, I'll volunteer. Miles. Yeah, Miles, you go.
Yeah.
Great answer, buddy. So, for Reese specifically, I basically just gave Austin a rundown of the vibe that Reese puts off, and I gave him the fact that he has two parents that he lives at home with in this kind of like Midwestern idyllic kind of nuclear family. And he actually helped me come up with both of their first names. We kind of developed a lot of the finer details together in the character creation process. But yeah, beyond just that, it was more about getting Reese to feel like a real teenager, real person. Because I already had the kind of concept swimming around in my back brain. But yeah, that's basically it. We like rounded out the vibe of the whole family unit, and then carried on forward with the finer details together in tandem.
All right, now Nate.
Yeah. Cool skateboard boy, I think, was like 90% of the character creation, and then we added TikTok, or it might have gone the other way around.
No. Well, either way, it was like '90s skateboard boy. Like, because when we first started, we didn't know exactly, I guess, where we were gonna go, and he was like, "I want to be like that grungy '90s." Something like that.
Yeah, and then I like with any good role playing experience, character creation took place with the DM, and we determined, I don't know what his parents were like. They suck. What his home life is like. It's pretty rad. And I don't know. Did you just switch ears?
Yep, and we're on backwards.
Whoops. I don't know. Zach's not interesting enough to have needed a lot of backstory. Yeah. He's the Jake, so he kind of sucks.
Hollow template that anyone can put themselves into the place of.
Yeah, he is leader. Okay, good. That's it. I did want to make him. I did want to try to like have a reason for him to be strategically like good at strategy. So I kind of made him business minded, like he's focused on that, and the TikTok thing seemed like a good way to do that. I forgot that was kind of backwards fed in. But yeah, making him cool. That was mostly all I was interested in doing.
I'll touch on all of your alls as we go back, because I have something to say about it just being like him being an empty shell or something like that. I have something to say about that. No, not anything like that. Cory, you want to go?
So a lot of some of the things that have come up were because of discussions on session 0. But for as far as the things that I had that I brought when I made Grant, I wanted him to be someone who put on a lot of airs about being this like tough punk dude, but like so much of that being a veneer, just a fucking thin veil to cover up who he actually is. I had his parents and the relationship with Ricky especially fleshed out when I brought it to Austin. It was at session 0, and then through some conversations that we decided that Zach and Grant are very good friends, and that we actually decided that the video where Zach's TikTok ticks off is Grant eating shit on a skateboard.
Yeah, that's right. Two Chumbawambas tub thumping.
Yeah, and
very important detail.
This has not come up in game yet, but I did demand from Austin that Grant takes a -2, I think, on going to skateboarding. So even though he's good at acrobatics and stuff, like he will always have that for skateboarding.
Wait till the time you guys are in Las Vegas doing a crazy fucking mission, and you're at the top of that
need to get on
pyramid thing, and you have to skateboard down. It's just you and Zach. He's got
We've
two
flown to
skateboards.
France, and you gotta grind the loop.
And I'm like, motherfucker.
He's like, not again.
But
Grant's favorite enemy is skateboards.
Yep. The one that really came and is a good segue into another thing is that from basically session 0, after talking to each other and getting to know each other, Alex and I talked a little bit and decided that we wanted to have Grant and Savannah fucking detest each other, and that to get resolved eventually, but it needed to be a process.
Awesome.
All right, I guess this is where I jump in with the transition, right?
Yep.
When creating Savannah, as with all things in my life, Austin had to hold my hand through it all and tell me it would be okay.
With all things.
With all things in life. Taxes, they're a real bitch. Anyways. Don't tell him that, Austin.
Oh, shit.
No, I like literally was like, I don't know. I think the one character thing that I came to Austin with was I came in with this idea of like, I know that I don't want to build any of the Animorphs, and I kind of knew how to avoid that since I've spent like over 200 published hours talking about it. God knows how many like actual hours. And I was like, okay, so I have this character. I want her to be like really like find it really hard to go against like the wishes of the group, and then eventually kind of have to break out of that, because Alex wants to learn how to play D&D by following everybody's example and then get to make her character later. But then after that kind of was in place and like building stuff out with Cory and with everybody really, because we've all kind of back channeled at least a little bit about like our characters together. Now I have a full novel, and maybe misstepped the other direction where the other day I said, yeah, actually I've written all of this stuff just because I want to know in any situation how Savannah would react by creating an actual person with actual motivations for everything.
Wait, you have fanfic of your own character?
It's not really fan fiction.
Yeah,
it's like
it's canon.
That's your backstory.
It's a diary entry.
I mean, that's awesome.
It's pages and pages and pages long, and like literally like. Because Austin, this just happened like the other day. We were talking, and I was like, "Oh yeah, well I haven't told anybody, but I do have like a situation that I act from." And then Austin was like, "Can you share it?" And I was like, 38 pages later of like red yarn on the wall kind of a thing. And Austin was like, "What the fuck?"
That's incredible. You're the best kind of D&D player, the note taker and the person who fully understands your character. That's so good.
The nightmare human.
Doesn't matter if you know the mechanics. That's awesome. Good job. Welcome.
But nightmare humans are the best D&D players.
Yeah.
Great.
Because you don't know if something is like wrong. You're coming to D&D from the same place that I'm coming to Animorphs. I don't know the rules, so I can come from an outside angle of like outside the box. That's so cool.
Well, you're starting to know some of the rules.
Well, like one or two.
I'm picking up things as I go, which is kind of the same way that Alex is going.
I think so just answering the question real quick, there was a lot. We had session 0 for one, which we came up with a lot of stuff in, and then there was a bunch of private messages. There's a whole group message. We built characters for probably like a month or two before we even played. So
it was a while.
There was a lot.
They also in that question was also about like NPC stuff and knowing that. Before we went into it, like the minute in session 1 that Austin said Cameron was with Reese and they were going somewhere and Cameron mentioned going to do something, I knew nothing about Cameron yet, but I did know he was coming to buy weed from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I also knew who Charles Bedford was when I came upon him at the back of the school, or even before that when I came upon him, Cameron talking to him on the that pier or whatever. Like, I knew who that was. Austin, we didn't have like a pause where Austin took me aside and said, "Hey, by the way, this guy," like, no, he said the name and I went, "Oh shit," because I knew.
We'll put like people into our backstories and stuff, and then just like Austin will just sprinkle them into a scene. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh shit, okay, I know that guy.
Because those characters Austin actually made, and because of the character I built, we talked about history I had with them, because he was like, I want these people to be here, and it's
that DM player collaboration where it's like, hey, I've got these NPCs in mind. Does this type of character work for the thing that you're thinking? Yes, it does. Perfect. Then here's that guy's name, and here's how you know him. And that's how this is all sorted out. This is the vibe he gives off. Yeah.
One of them, both Savannah and Grant knew for different reasons.
I was just
either of them like each other or look like her.
I was just gonna say there's two characters I think that happened with that Austin told me about, so I immediately knew. And one of them was Evan, who I told Austin immediately. He sent me like this little list. I was like, by the way, I love that guy. He's the best. and then Rena too, which it was so funny because I was with Cory live when Rena first showed up. And then like the way that you did that scene, I was laughing. And Cory's like, stop laughing at me, because he had no idea why I was giggling. And it was because Austin was doing an awesome job with it. And it was great because Rena sucks. And I was laughing about it, but you had no idea why I was laughing about it. It was great.
I will say Austin did the same thing with me, and I'm a terrible person because I don't remember who he said I already knew. I know one is like a TikTok fan, so that won't come up. He said, kidding. I know it will come up. Yeah. I don't remember the other one at all.
It was Chad.
Zach's got a stalker that just shows up outside of his house. Wearing unreleased merch.
Unreleased merch from his TikTok?
Yeah, from Zach's TikTok.
Austin, that? You have to answer for Cameron.
Cameron is an NPC. So,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Grant knew him. Reese knew him. I assume that Zach and Savannah probably knew who he was, but they didn't have any kind of relationship to him, so I didn't give them.
They see each other at school.
Yeah,
I know there are parts of Cameron's backstory that we don't know yet, so I don't want you to necessarily say those. Mm-hmm. But even though he is an NPC, he is such an integral part of what we're doing, and he is part of the group, and he is, I know that mechanically you play him a little bit differently than this, but he is something of a GM player character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to a certain degree. So I'm just curious how much of his backstory you knew before going in, and how much you've crafted as we've played.
I had
48 pages.
when I start any game, not any game, when I start a new game, a new system, I always make a character. I think Cameron was the character that I made to test out the system, and I was like, as the system changed, I changed. He wasn't Cameron, but he was like this build or something. And then when I got to around to the game, it was like, all right, I'm gonna make this character. Go with him to the construction site and see what happens. He may get the power, he may not. I don't know. And then I either adjusted his stats to make him fit what I wanted or whatever. But I had this character kind of built. And then as we before we played, I had a lot of his backstory made. Like I had his back injury. He's a football player. The stuff with his brother and sister and his parents. A little bit of that got changed and fleshed out after we started playing, but not a whole bunch of it. Like,
okay,
I think I had a different last name for him when we started, or something like that.
Well, that hasn't really come up at all.
It has.
Came up once.
It has. It did.
I don't remember it. Shit.
But yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I never thought you would mention that publicly, but there was a time when Austin messaged me and he was like, shit, did I tell you Cameron's last name before? Did you say it at all? I was like, it has not come up, my dude. He's like, okay, well, I changed it. It's never happened. And I was like, okay.
and now you have betrayed me live on the stream.
You betrayed yourself.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that to answer, there was a lot of interaction I think we had.
Yeah.
So like seeing characters pop up. There's some you still haven't seen yet. That I'm pretty sure people have in their backstories.
Oh, I know there's at least one, because I remember looking at it the other day and going, who the fuck?
And there's also people that I will probably add. Like,
right.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe some he already has added.
Who's to say?
Nice, Alex. You dropped it. All right, let's see what else. How many experience?
Ah.
Are you reading that out loud?
Yep. How many experience points is Austin going to give the characters for Megamorphs? This is from somebody named Cory, he, him.
Yeah, that's sounds like an idiot. Yeah. So that's just a running joke that, like, we've got a back channel where Austin tells us how many experience points we get, and like sometimes within 5 minutes of us being done, I'll post a GIF or something that's like, "So when are you gonna give those to us?" And
like
it was not
the
long.
SpongeBob sweating like, I don't need it. I don't.
Yeah,
need it.
like stuff like that, and yeah, he hasn't told us yet, so I'm gonna keep bothering him.
So I will answer the question though, but cryptically.
Oh, cool.
Depending on your view of it, well over 100. So
Your view of
view,
it?
Your view.
View of it.
So like,
yeah,
maybe 1,000 is well over to you, but maybe like 200 is well over.
Oh, I so essentially what you've said is over 100.
Yeah.
12.
That's still a pretty decent number, even if it's only 101. But okay, cool. I have a bottom now, which I never have going into this. So like, I still got something out of this stupid question.
Cory,
What's up?
you've always had a bottom.
No,
That big old thumper.
I was born without one.
Yeah, dragging that wagon. What's up?
Next up is from Casey.
Hey,
I love her.
She said, "Why didn't Austin let Savannah flip the van?" Oh shit!
Yeah.
Fucking question.
Yeah.
I told them in the back channel I would answer this a little bit. They asked about DCs and stuff a little bit, how I come up with them. Because let's face it, Savannah was a rhino. She rode a 15, and I didn't let her flip the van. Oops. Look.
Vans are big.
Yeah, vans are big. DCs, how I kind of look at them is every character will stick on strength for this. So every character has a strength score with a strength modifier. Either 0 to 5 unless they're crazy fucking out of this world superpower. So anybody that can get their score to a 20 can potentially roll the same number as a rhino that already has a 20. Does that make sense? Because they each have a +5 multiplier. So if they roll a 20, both of them, they each get 25. That's supposed to be the height of their strength.
Mm-hmm.
So if Savannah is a human and the rhino is a rhino, the rhino should be able to lift more than Savannah, no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter how strong Savannah gets as a human, she should not be able to lift a car easily. A rhino can't. So the DCs change, for one, based on how strong you are, the situations going on. Literally millions of factors can play into me setting a DC from 1 to 30 for this. Mm-hmm. So 30 is supposed to be impossible. 1 is, the easiest thing you can do.
Sure.
I gotta figure it out on the fly. I gotta use all those things figured out on the fly. So if 20 is supposed to be a hard check and 15 is supposed to be a medium check, I'm not gonna put a van for a rhino all the way at hard, but I'm not gonna make it easy either. So
this is a very interesting look into your brain. How high was the DC, Austin?
17.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
See, Cory's there.
Yeah, that's what I would have put it at. 15 fucks it up, 17 flips it. That's exactly what I would have set it at.
I just sitting here, I just Googled how often do rhinos flip cars, and pretty often.
Might surprise you.
And then it says, can a rhino flip a car? There was a 30-year-old bull rhino who weighed more than 3 tons, flipped a 1.5 ton car with ease. And I Googled average rhino weight, and they're between like 2,000 and 3,000 pounds on average. So I don't know how that translates to tons, because I'm a simple idiot.
2,000 pounds is a ton.
Got you.
There's another factor in here too, and that is that anytime a baby is stuck under a car, people have been known to lift up cars to get the babies out of there.
Right.
So
adrenaline. That's one of those other factors. You want to know what is another factor in?
I apologize for the sound of my cats in the background, by the way. They're absolutely going ballistic for some jingle toys.
My brain is another factor in it, and my brain doesn't know how much a rhino or a car weighs, or how much adrenaline you need to flip it. Right. So sometimes I'll fuck up. She might do it again, and the DC will be 15.
I'm not even calling it a fuck up. I'm saying
you
maybe
didn't fuck up.
The bumper ripped off or something.
No, trust me. I don't think I fucked up either.
There are other times where if one thing that you do as a DM that I like is, like, if you don't have that, those like extraneous factors, and if Savannah was, or if, Alex had said the average rate of a rhino is larger than the average weight of this minivan, just statistically, you probably would have factored that in, because you do that. But listen.
Yeah, we had some serious talks about Falcons once.
Future Grant was he was already struggling in that, and he was supposed to have like a whole villain fight later. He was already really fucking close to dying in there.
That may have played a part in my decision too. To be honest, I don't know everything. Like, just thinking back, it's really a split decision.
They planned extremely well, and they fucked me up.
Yeah,
we did it. That's why she didn't flip the van.
Yeah,
Q, you're muted.
You didn't want me to.
And we were rolling spectacularly the entire episode.
Oh yeah, you guys.
We were rolling pretty fucking well.
I wasn't, but that was a good thing.
Except for when I needed to break out of the fucking morph thing.
Yeah, but it builds character for you to think that you're going to be stuck the whole episode.
Yeah, you'd have a lot of character if you had some extra little leggies out of your stomach.
Mhm.
Listen, I like those leggies.
Austin will put them back.
He
He
will
already
put them
threatened
back.
once.
I don't like them that much, okay?
Stop talking about it.
I like
Gonna
it
do
just
it.
enough.
This is your moment of you get in the shower and it's like the ant head in your back, but you find out it's just a teeny spider leg in your back.
Oh,
Go home and take a shower, Zach, so I can do that.
no.
Yuck.
No,
It happened
Zach's
in-
not going to
It happened in the
wear it
break.
off ever again.
I really like
Happened in the break.
I'm gonna hold Casey's next question. I wanted that to be the last one we do for the fan questions.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, there's another one here I haven't seen yet, but when we get to it, maybe I'll switch Casey and hers out. We'll see. From Al Gal, she has a few, but the first one is, what was Grant going to do once he got to jail?
Lawyer
Time.
He was gonna chill. He was probably gonna. Honestly, he was. If it hadn't gone the way it had gone, and they had just been going to the jail, and not been having that conversation that was still ongoing. I've already talked about how Grant is not averse to pain, and it's not something that really matters that much to him, especially now that he knows he can just heal it. He was gonna go full wild and just like beat his face into the back of the cop car to freak out Hank, and then when he got to the jail, he was just gonna call Ricky and he was gonna sit and wait. Like he wasn't. There wasn't any reason to do anything else unless something crazy came up, like I don't know, Cameron using an orange crystal to explode the cop car they were in.
Oh, okay. Is that which one you think it was?
Thinking back on it, I think it was Oh, do you think it was? Oh my god, what a psycho! No, it was the black one, and he rushed it.
Yeah.
God,
Should you?
Cameron.
I think you should also give our behind the scenes joke answer that we kept saying you were going to do.
That I was gonna morph and run away.
No, he was going to call his lawyer of the year,
Oh,
Naomi
yeah.
Berenson.
Oh, hell yeah.
Naomi Berenson. Yeah, I was gonna call my lawyer Naomi Berenson. I forgot about that one.
It's all right, Q. One day you'll get it.
Well, I mean, I've already picked up on context clues. It's a character from the book. Just anything that I don't understand, I'm like, oh, it's from the book. Ha 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 ha.
Her second question was where was Hank actually taking him? Cory, do you want to speculate on that, or anybody can speculate on that has listened?
Your pool.
I have not.
I just don't want to speculate.
Okay.
I'm
sorry, Jerk River.
Yerk River.
In this.
I think he was just. I think he is naive and thought he was going to be able to pressure Grant into answering his questions just because he had put him into the back of a cop car. I
So
think
he was
just gonna
abusing
drive
his
around.
power as a police officer. Cool.
Which Grant called him out for.
Yeah.
But maybe he is. Maybe he's crazier than this. I don't know enough about Hank, but I doubt he was going to go execute me in the woods.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to put the pressure on.
You got it. He wasn't going anywhere. He was just driving around.
Yeah.
It was actually a way for me to get you away from buildings that I didn't want Cameron to hit you at. So I was like, he goes the opposite way of the police department.
Yeah. I just, it's one of those things where, like, on the one hand, I can sympathize with the wanting to know where his brother is and stuff, but as Grant brought up, he came to me as a concerned brother and arrested me as a cop. That doesn't really build trust. And then he's like, well, I could arrest you on anything. I'm like, oh, you can just go search my house, can you, motherfucker?
Well, his point to, I think, just to speak on that, his point to that was, it's not no, it's not me coming into your house to do whatever. It's comparing you to him. Like, yeah, he's abusing his power as a cop, but you're not an angel either. So who are you to tell him that he can't do that? That was what I was trying to communicate between them.
That's and I'm gonna say that did come across, especially with the like extra knowledge that Grant has that he doesn't about like the perils of the universe and stuff. You know, Grant is very much like, shut the fuck up, you child. Not here for it at all.
Nah, like Hank, you get paid to be an upstanding citizen of the city and to protect the law. That's your job. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey,
you can't compare me, a child and criminal.
We've been saying ACAB the whole show, and you guys are surprised the bad cop fucking shows up?
I wasn't surprised. Like, as soon as you were like, oh yeah, like, Bart says his brother's a cop, and I'm like, narc. Fuck that kid.
The next one is, how did future Cameron follow his nemesis? So I've thought about this a whole lot. And I want to keep it secret, just in case we revisit anybody in them. If we don't, by like season 3, throw it back at me. And not season 3, that's close.
Yeah.
If we
Well, give me a number, because I'll fucking follow up on this shit.
Alex, you pick an appropriate number where these characters should come back in, or I have to tell this secret.
Book 5.
36.
Let's see. Based on how much numerically this is, and we're going to be doing some sort of interlude between each book?
Oh, yeah. We may even do 2 sometimes.
Okay, then after book 4 leading into book 5.
All right.
That sounds right to me.
You guys heard it here.
You'll get your answer then.
Maybe.
See you guys in 2 years.
I'll start a fucking podcast about it.
Oh my god.
She'll do it.
All right, Alga has another question. Also, this isn't a question.
Okay.
But I absolutely loved how Austin gave Grant a vivid picture of what he would become if he allowed himself to be influenced by redacted. That fiery eyeball. So she just caught. Thanks.
Sauron.
Thanks. But Casey did piggyback off of that. What was the collaboration? What was the What was the collaboration again like between Austin and Cory for that collaboration? Cory. So there was like some stuff. I haven't gave Cory a whole lot on that really. Like he knows.
Austin let me make a lot of decisions about that character. We talked a little bit about why Grant chose to do that. We have some backstory on why that version of Grant pledged his services to
some forward story.
Yeah, like we know why he worked for what he kept referring to as his lord or his master. But we left other things just up to basically what Austin seemed to want to do is he wanted the story to go a certain way tonally, and he wanted
I wanted to keep you from going too far astray from what I had planned.
Yeah, and so like I was able to make a lot of decisions, but when I was planning things, he very subtly pushed back on certain things for reasons that I realized later.
Like he was going to go talk to Grant in the jail. That's one of them.
Yeah, that is one of them. And he pushed back on it for reasons that were ultimately bullshit. But is because he had other things that were happening there. Mm. But a lot of the personality and stuff and how Grant feels about things, I even asked Austin about, and he said, that's up to you. So like a lot of the kind of attitude he had and the specifically soft spot for Possum and things like that, that was me. So a lot of it I wrote, but it was within strict confines of the fact that Austin was telling a story with him.
He gave you a skeleton and you fleshed it out. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, fleshed it out based on his character that wasn't his character. Like I'm giving it up to Cory for this because he was such like I couldn't have did it
Like,
without
if Grant went down the darkest timeline in
Basically.
10 years, who would he be? That type of thing. That's awesome.
Also, I want to address something because Grant was not the only PC character that came back. Reese did come back too, and I talked to Q about this. There's a reason I didn't have Q come in and play Reese because Reese wasn't Reese. He was Zepton. Like he was a yerk. I don't know if that. I'm pretty sure it came through, but
Absolutely
it did.
came across. Yeah.
It also, I don't know that we explicitly said it, Austin, but I know that in fiction there were times when like Grant asked him things like, does he feel is he afraid? What's it like in there? Alluding to the fact that Reese is a vegetable.
And there's in the first episode he says, what's it like trying to remember those things? And Zepton says it's like something being on the tip of your tongue, you can't remember it.
Yeah. So like
So
the
like,
whole
you can't tap into Reese's memories
He
very
can. It's
easily.
just hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Reese is comatose on the inside.
So
and
when
is
like
just being piloted like a meat Iron Man suit.
yeah, so like when Zach and Reese were asking questions and asking, Reese specifically, like, well, how did you feel or what do you remember about this and stuff? Zepton was full of shit on every single one of those answers because he has no idea.
That vision.
Yeah, like, did he actually not remember the vision or is Reese just brain dead?
Should I? Yeah, I think that's a good question to leave in the air, like a lingering question.
100%.
Algal in the chat just now, in our Twitch chat, just said the whole time I was trying to figure out how Reese could keep doing the tentacle thing, and it's literally just because he's Estreen. Estreen and
that.
Practiced and skilled at it, and also maybe some other future things we don't know. Like we don't know what was affecting Reese and all that kind of stuff. But I do know that seeing that kind of dark reflection of himself is going to be affecting how Reese is going to be behaving and how he's going to be conducting himself in the future.
Nice. That's so there may be other stuff that plays in. I'm not going to count it out because who knows what'll come up later. But Estreen is how I was justifying him doing all that. And I was trying to advance it past the books to like give you a glimpse of stuff like that.
Right.
So like a level 18 druid, basically.
Up there. Corey, do you want to tell them how many experience points that you got to level up? And that'll kind of give you an idea of how high they were.
So as far as what future Grant could do, I got like some extra tech stuff that you guys saw me use that I was able to do. And I, after Austin swore me to secrecy on the fact that I was going to be more involved in this stuff, and I was like, okay, he said, okay, you have 3,000 experience points to spend however you want. And I went, what the fuck?
So you started with Grant's like base level thing,
I
and then
started with Grant as he is now, and then added 3,000 experience points on top.
right on,
of it.
and you just got to kid in a candy store, purchase whatever you wanted.
Largely, I just made him able to
Get good at being
morph
bad.
more.
Yeah. Right
Which
on.
that didn't really come up too much.
No, but he
But, yeah.
he was pretty liberal with the morph usage throughout.
Did you add all your 10 hit points on the end? That was one thing I was wondering if you remembered to do your tough morpher stuff.
I actually didn't, but I'll be honest, the way that battle went, I kind of like that I didn't.
Oh yeah, how the battle ended, I loved. But,
Something interesting that you just mentioned is that you focused on Grant being able to morph more often and do extra things with his morphs and stuff. And isn't Grant the first one who suffered from morph exhaustion?
Yeah.
So it would play into it that he wanted to do as many things as possible without getting tired like he has in the past. It's very interesting.
Well, now we'll go to Casey's question.
I like this one a lot.
What was each cast member's biggest surprise / plot twist moment? Like, what point made you go, what? Holy shit, the most? Or better phrased, what part took you by surprise the most? Cory, you go first. Well, you've been talking a lot, but yeah, you go first. I like this.
Okay. All right. It was, and this is going to be a good testament to how, even with how included Austin had me in crafting this, he still made sure that there were things that I didn't know. When we started part 3, and he had me in the back of the cop car with Hank, and I realized that I was going to be a part of this story as current Grant, I went, what? You can audibly, if you go back, you can hear the surprise in my voice. I was like, because I knew I needed to be there for that recording. I figured we were going to have something where future Grant comes and attacks Savannah or something. But, like, most of Savannah's stuff that happened ended up being with my actual character, Grant. I did not know he was going to be an involved part of the story. I didn't expect him to be. I expected Austin to put him in a cell so that I could be playing the villain. So that was a welcome surprise.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Savannah, why don't you go next, Alex?
Well, I think that's Austin.
Yeah. You want to call that or no?
So, yeah, you can go ahead and go.
I don't. There was so many surprises, but like I don't know that the biggest surprises got the biggest kind of response from me either. Like there was stuff that very much surprised me, but like that wasn't the stuff that I really, really reacted to. But let's see, what would probably be the biggest surprise? I guess, I mean, Cameron's entrance was buck wild. Future Cameron's entrance, that was a huge surprise because like it was baffling enough with like Possum, but like Possum seeking out Savannah isn't overall, I think, like, yeah, it's surprising how he turned up, but like, okay. And then like Cameron came out and it was like, what the fuck, man? What is happening? So probably that.
Nate?
A couple of moments really stand out. The first is like the turn, because I was actually starting to be like, okay, cool, future Grant and Reese. There's no problems here. And then I got completely shocked. And then the second was honestly seeing future Possum, because that was such a fucking wild description.
And he came in your fight too.
Yeah. So I don't know what level of understanding Alex or Q had, but I kind of figured out Cory kind of knew what was going on, but I was fucking clueless. I thought we were going to be dealing with fucking Brad and Chad being Yerks or some shit, and like we were going to have to do that. And then fucking Terminator shows up, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. It's some weird shit. It's some wild Megamorphs shit. Cool, love it. Yeah.
You saying that made me think. I was also shocked that my Cameron become Yerk and clear Bart and Chad. I was surprised that worked. I didn't expect it to.
Q?
Awesome. Oh, dude, I mean, I had the same level of surprise and excitement as I do for every episode, because I had no idea what to expect. The thing that I think that in this surprised me the most, I suppose, is because I hadn't heard anything about future Grant. It was the heel turn. Where like I think at one point I did an insight roll to see if they were telling the truth, but I didn't roll well enough to pick up on whether he was happy about the other crew like being dead or whatever. It's like, yeah, he was like, oh yeah, they're dead and gone, man. Like, yeah, it's like, okay, he seems to be truthful about that. And I didn't roll well enough to be like, you see this glint in his eye, where there's something more that he's not telling you. That type of
I
bullshit.
fucking killed her.
Yeah, and then it's like, I'll tell you what happened, motherfucker. I killed her. Like that whole line that you gave, and I was like, oh, we're so fucked right now.
I'm glad I played that well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just I don't know. I was mostly surprised by how good of a villain Cory can play.
We'll say me and Cory talked about that a lot because we knew we had a plan for like how we wanted it to go down, and I would say essentially the plan went off pretty good. Like
the one moment you guys, when we got there and you guys got out of the van and you questioned why Cameron needed to come with us, and I was like, I just think we should all stay together, and you guys were like, why? And like, I was just spinning some bullshit. I was this close to hitting the panic button and attacking you. I was like, let's just play it out, see. And then you guys got in there, and I was like, they're stuck. But yeah, there were a few moments, but where you guys were hinging on the verge of being a little bit too suspicious, and I was like,
fucking child box.
Yeah, and like the van was specifically built to trap you guys in.
Yeah.
It was Austin and I had talked about that too, because he wanted, and I did too, wanted a situation where you guys would have been able to not have that happen. And basically what we came to was you guys had the opportunity to suss out that something smelled bad and that it was weird and that you weren't going to trust or were going to, question things too much and not get in the van, and then things would have gone differently, and like the anti-morph thing would have been applied earlier, the fight might have happened quicker, and it would have put Grant especially in a more disadvantageous position. So yeah, there was a lot of like they needed to figure it out before getting in the van, because the van was a death trap. We had done so much to make sure that once you guys were in the van all together, there was no getting out. There was the con checks that let you guys take some movements before, but yeah, that was tense for me because I'm trying to roll
a nat 20 on smashing out the window.
Yeah.
Then I probably would have crawled halfway out and then
fallen down.
Yeah, even if you would have gotten out of the van,
we had already gotten gassed, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, and there were other things like, we had the gas masks and the partition, and Reese mentioned that he was going to drive, and Zepton was like, "No, I always drive." And Zach called shotgun, and Grant was like, "I called shotgun before you got here."
Man,
and like, if you guys had insisted on those things because you were suspicious, it would have blown everything up, because you can't be in the front seat. We have to be able to access these things, the buttons and the masks and everything. And you guys just eventually went, "Yeah, all right," and you did it. And Cory was like, "No, don't trust me."
That you argued shotgun because I couldn't be in the front. I really thought it was just you being a dick.
Nope. I needed you to not be up there.
God damn it. Yeah, and my first thought too was like one of us should be a bird and fly, just in case some shit goes down, so we have like a surprise.
I should have just like stayed gorilla and did thought speak in order, then got back in the van to drive. But I figured we were going somewhere
when you stayed gorilla, I was like, that's gonna be something to deal with, and then you demorphed, and I was like,
yeah,
all right.
I stayed gorilla, got back to the cabin, demorphed, and then fuck.
I thought they were going to leave Cameron behind, and I was like, oh, well, there's another player on the board then. But they didn't. All right, I mean, those are our questions.
Can I add an Can I add another surprise onto the end of that? That's not mine.
Yes.
My one of my favorite moments happened in back channeling, which was when we were in the woods. Austin, you narrated that there was a brown blur that went behind the rhino. And I laughed because I was like, oh, Possum's in the fight. It was never a question in my mind. And I back channeled Cory. I'm like, Possum! And he's like, what? And then he did not pick up on that. I was like, Possum's here.
And she was like the brown blur, and I went,
Yeah.
holy shit, it's Possum!
Awesome.
Because I knew Austin Possum existed, but like I did not pick up on the brown blur thing. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that was.
There was a couple of things that just kind of got lost in the narrative. So like Cameron being thrown into one of the cells never got said, but there was 3 cells, so we assumed he was in there.
Like that was a very like clever leaving out of a detail of Cameron. Like,
Oh, yeah,
he's
that
in
helped
the
out.
cell, obviously.
And
But like,
Cory didn't have enough anti-morph things to do it to Cameron as well.
right?
So
Okay, got you. And so like the 2 players who are waking up in a jail cell not knowing what's going on, of course we wouldn't know that there was a third person,
Who could actually do shit?
yeah, who could do something. So like, yeah, it's like we don't know what happened to whoever, and Cameron never yelled out to say anything to us, so we just assumed he wasn't there.
well, so
Yeah.
if you guys remember, you all woke up. You all were knocked out by the gas. Cameron was knocked out by smacking his head against the partition. Maybe he just stayed out a little bit longer.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because oh, sorry, Nate, you were gonna say something.
I was going to say he's a football player. He's used to concussions.
Yeah.
That was it.
Because of who I don't know if you guys have listened back to the first couple of parts yet, but and it's actually something that I picked up on a re-listen that I didn't have context for at first. When mentioning looking for Cameron to find out where you guys were and where the thing was, Zepton said, I want to fucking kill him. And it's because future Cameron is such a thorn in their sides. But Austin didn't tell Cory that. So it wasn't until a re-listen that I realized that the reason Zepton has so much more ire for Cameron is because our timeline's Cameron actively fights against us.
Gotcha.
So that was a cool thing.
And I did want to keep Cameron a secret from you, because
Yeah, no, it was good. I had no idea.
So awesome.
Let's get into. We only have a little bit of time left, so let's go around. Any moments you want to talk about, your favorite moment, whatever. We got about 10 minutes or so. So
I got one. Giving up the damn cube and time matrix.
We didn't give up the time matrix,
oh yeah,
did we?
The good
We
one.
gave it both. Oh yeah, because you grabbed both and you were like, fine,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah, so I want to go on record that Nate still thinks that was a stupid decision. But Zach is on board with it.
Got you.
and we
I don't think it was a
What is
good
that?
or I don't think it was a good or bad decision. I don't think it was stupid or not stupid.
Yeah.
I think it was narratively interesting.
Yeah.
Narratively interesting for sure, tactically dumb as shit.
Let's
I
get
hated
the
it.
pieces
I-
off the board is
Here's-
Nah.
Reese's.
Item better. That's what I was going to do, but
Here's my argument for this. It's that at the end of the day, we are telling a story that is from the world of Animorphs in some way. And if we never, in the game that we played, made a crazy, stupid, reckless decision based on hope, we would not be playing a fucking Animorphs game.
Right on. Fair enough.
again, narratively, good.
As a D&D player, it made Nate
As the
happy.
player, I hate it. Especially because we saw that the cube can give morphing powers back, and if we lose them again, what are we gonna do?
Oh, that's
We don't
a good
know
question.
mechanically how that works, though.
Yeah,
how
we
lost
have
them
no
and everything.
idea. We have
But we
no
won't
idea
find
how
out
we
now.
lost them.
I will
Hey,
say
man,
this,
like-
since he took the Escafield device there's a draft on it on the
Civilians and
civilians
superpowers.
and superpowers things. It has 6 uses before it has to be recharged, so you guys can count those up.
Oh, damn.
Right on. Okay.
How do we know how it gets recharged?
You know, now you know.
I mean, as players,
Hopefully,
could
future
we?
Cameron does.
I hope future Cameron figures it out.
Yeah.
Maybe
It
he
was
can
on-
recharge it with the time matrix.
It was on the charging device in Elfangor's ship.
But then he
Oh,
used
shit.
it 5 times, so and we used it once.
Yep.
One more for
We handed him a desk toy.
well, future Cameron used it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he
man.
might have some. I mean, we do know that things are a little bit more in the open. At the world he comes from, so even with how dumb he is, he may be able to get some freedom
He may not
fighters
even
and
be dumb anymore, man. Like,
Oh,
that's
he
my
is.
thing. Sure.
No, like he made some decisions while we were with him,
Oh.
and that he's still dumb.
I feel like Cameron's like intelligence score not very high. I feel like over time his wisdom score gets fucking boosted.
Me and Cory.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Cory and Alex, I think, talked about that about his wisdom and intelligence score.
Yeah. No, like he definitely has a lot more like world knowledge, and like he's fighting a lot of this fight by himself, but like most of it is that he even mentions to Savannah and Grant when they're doing stuff, he's like, we need a plan going in there. I am not good at plans. I need your guys' help. Because he's very self-aware and he knows his role and he's very good at it.
Mhm.
But like he's not the smartest tool, sharpest tool in the shed, and he knows it.
He's not the smartest hammer.
He's not the smartest hammer.
Not the brightest spoon in the drawer.
Yeah, he it's such a good moment. But like talking about moments, the like green crystals that heal you. He said to demonstrate how they worked, he broke one under Grant's nose and said these'll heal your injuries. They won't completely fix you up, but they'll stabilize you and help a lot. We don't have a lot of them. They're really rare, so we got to be careful, but we can use them. And then Savannah goes, why did you just break one under Grant's nose if he was fine, if they're rare? And then Grant goes, yeah, that's actually a really good question. And he went, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. And like that was one of the moments more than anything else where we're like, pretty sure you're Cameron and not a Yerk.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's actually you.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, and it was playing.
That's awesome.
I can't wait until
Yeah, it was
Nate
super
listens
planned.
back.
Austin
it was
didn't
written.
do it.
It was written down.
I was
Okay.
like, if you look, I was like this when I was saying, I didn't think about
Yeah.
that.
I'm really excited for Nate to listen back to the part that we were in and find out about his treehouse.
Oh yeah, sorry, Nate.
yeah.
Sorry, Nate.
He got some
Listening.
hints.
We made some shit canonical that
Yeah, evidently my dad's got all my porn now.
Maybe.
not all of it.
So I'm
It's in
picking up the DVDs out of the
It's in
yard.
the lawn.
He'd tuck it.
There's
take
more.
the DVD,
There's
tuck
more that
it
you'll
in
find
his,
out.
in his jacket and
Oh, and Reese is gonna be hearing probably some shit about his hooligan friend Grant from his father.
fair.
Know what I'll be doing over the break?
Oh shit.
I've got chores I have to do at Reese's and Zach's house.
And somehow I don't.
Somehow
despite
you
doing way worse.
Yeah,
Grant offered.
Yeah,
He offered
stop
you
offering,
chores.
man.
felt bad.
All right. So is there another moment? Yeah.
I have one.
I want to hear it.
Me too.
Then I'll
Seed.
tell you. My favorite moment was the fucking boss fight where the dice just absolutely played along with how fucking enraged I was at that time. I wasn't mad at anybody here, like in particular, but I was fucking livid at that point because of what was going down with Possum, and I was ready to fucking murder.
Speaking
No.
of back channels,
Yeah.
I sent Alex an apology during the game. During the game, because Alex was like,
He
well,
said,
so was
"Believe, I'm sorry,
Savannah."
I'm sorry."
I did.
You can
Savannah
look
was
at
like,
her.
what are you fucking idiots doing? You fucked up my dog. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm sorry. He told us to leave.
Like, you
Oh,
can
don't
tell
worry,
Alex
he's
is
just a
mad
dog.
in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the street.
Well, you can. I mean, I don't know that everybody can, but
She's
you
like
can.
Oh, I could.
Ready to fucking rage.
So when are we rolling initiative?
I didn't do any of those
Oh.
things.
Oh.
But
Your
yeah.
ass voice again, Austin.
Is that a pose I've ever done?
Yes, you're doing it right now. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Can you all still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay. Wait a quick. I'll piggyback off that. That is my favorite moment too, especially the running crit, like the very first one.
Where she ripped his throat out.
Yes. I told them after this, my favorite thing that ever happens is when dice rolls inform the narrative or reflect the narrative. So like, she's pissed off, so she's gonna do her best, and she rolls a crit on the first fucking attack. That doesn't happen. That's like winning the lottery. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like
Okay.
other times you try to open a door and the dice just fuck you for 9 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just went off perfect.
Grant
My
buried
favorite
his
moment was-
tentacles in his head.
My other favorite moment was when Zach could start morphing again. That was a big one.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, my
'Cause I was
face.
like-
My beautiful face. Oh.
I have a really cool concept for a backup character, but I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've still got more like Reese.
Got
to
more
go.
boards to skate
Yeah.
and more ticks to talk.
Another, I guess, favorite moment, but this is purely from a like meta narrative, was the plausible reason to, after getting them all tied up and in the back of the van and everything, to get rid of the dead weight that was Bart and Chad, because narratively speaking, Grant's fiery master had barred him from killing any of the humanimals. No one else was safe. There was a very real version of this where Bart and Chad got murdered.
And there was a second time that Grant saved them by observing them early enough that we didn't fucking slaughter them.
One of them was almost a speed bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. One Grant orders the kill shot, basically. The other Grant saves them. That's a nice. Whatever.
If they had been stayed back at the cabin though, like especially Zepton, like I think Grant probably would have been like, I don't care, and left, and Zepton probably would have slit their throats.
Turned him inside out.
Yeah.
Narratively, it would have really made things easier going forward. But
I would say
Just
that
as a power gamer. just saying.
gameplay, it would have made things easier. Narratively, it makes things more interesting.
What about Bart dying and Hank? The last person that Hank knows where he's at is Grant. That.
Yeah.
Do you rather? Would you rather have a kid that doesn't have a yerk in his head, or a cop that thinks you killed his brother?
So Cory, what's your next character gonna be?
I mean, listen, Grant
This is
keeps
bad.
dying and he's still here, so I haven't written the next one yet.
this next one's
Eventually-
going to be Grant, too.
Yeah, eventually Austin's gonna get sick of this song and dance where he just, kind of kills Grant and he's just gonna be dead and I'll have to figure it
I'll
out.
have to move to somebody else.
Does anyone here?
Shit.
I mean,
I know who's next on that
Austin
list.
not included. Any of my fellow players, do you have a backup character? Because I don't.
Yes.
I put all of my I put all of my eggs in the Reese basket.
Austin can confirm. I have a backup character. It's not named or anything.
There's a
In my
character
mind-
concept. Yeah.
Concept, yeah.
In my mind, because I don't know anything, dying is just the equivalent of getting fired off of this show. Like,
No.
Hang on, let her
No,
think
you
that.
you get
Casey says Grant has 9 lives. Well, he's got 6 left.
cool. I feel like if a character dies, then you get 2 weeks to grieve, like 2 sessions, and then you get to come back with your next character after that amount of time. Well, that'd be like a month. So
It just depends on the situation, I would say.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are on a space mission and it's just you guys, and one of you kills the other,
wait, we go to space?
Oh, but like if one of you kills the other one, then like
We'll probably
where am I
go
gonna get another person? You stop
My
on
next
the planet and find a clique.
My next character is going to be a Skritnaw who's just running around going and getting shiny things.
I'm gonna play.
that won't last long.
No.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
play
3
just
days.
like the dopiest what are the blue like
Geds.
creatures with the
Or
Texans? Like,
dreads. depending.
Geds. Yeah.
Geds. Okay,
I
I'm
say
just gonna play
Geds.
like an armored Ged. That you guys just like put armor on and just walk in
And like watch him walk in a circle because he's lopsided and just leave him like, we'll be back eventually.
Just I have a
then-
-2 to
And
my
everyone else will
intelligence.
go, look over there, and the Ged will turn and be like, I don't see it.
And
They're
like,
quite useless
stab him.
creatures.
Like I'm tall enough to not fit through doorways. It just hit. I have my head on the top of the doorway and just keep walking forward and not moving anywhere, like I'm in a video game clipping.
I was very pleased with how all of this went. I kind of wanted you guys to figure out that Grant was full of shit, but it still ended up being very fun.
We did eventually.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I really love
scoring cat.
At the
I-
worst possible time when
Yeah,
you're locked in
Yeah,
a
but-
cell.
I
But
really
Hey.
He
loved.
smeared his ass all over the forest floor. So
Nah, he did that. I really loved after asking where Savannah was and you guys saying, I think she just got off of work, when I was like, excellent. That's great to know. And then Zach went, I didn't like that. And then he's like, all right, Zepton, put on the mask. And they go,
oh.
There was some. Alex said I did some creepy stuff with.
you did.
Fucking creeped the shit out of me, Austin. Fucking, it was the exact line. Literally, I was watching it all today, and you got to the exact line where you were Zepton playing Reese, and Reese had been doing, like, current Reese was saying all this stuff, like, hey, like, shut up, sweetheart, like, all that jazz. And then you said something like,
"Shut up."
I'll help you out, cutie. And it was the creepy, like, literally, if Austin said this to me today, I'd be like, goodbye, you're a fucking creep. I'm done. And, like,
Austin's a great actor.
Okay, but when he does it to you, don't get in the fucking van with him, bro. It's creepy as shit. It's so creepy. I, like, literally paused the stream. I was like, this is the creepiest shit Austin's ever done. What the fuck?
Maybe that's the real me.
I'm sorry. I get
No.
in vans with strangers.
Don't tell me that, like, right before I come visit you. Are you kidding me?
You're gonna be okay. I won't.
Oh, it's even worse with the face like that. It'll be fine.
Hey, unless any of you guys have any other things you want to say, I don't have anything.
No, I think that's about it.
We don't.
I'm glad you didn't kill Possum.
Me too.
You would have been in big trouble.
Shit.
I'm glad that there was only one casualty of an unnamed mover.
Oh,
Well,
Oh,
Oh boy.
we'll miss him.
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. Until what are we doing? You guys, if you want our socials, mine's at D&DB Pod. Cory.
Oh, I'm at Rum Renegade on Twitter. You can add me there if you want, and I'll interact. But not on there very often, so it's like screaming into the void. But sometimes the void screams back. Go check out our Discord and join it if you really want to talk to me. I'm there all the time.
Nate.
I am called the Splintersmith on all things internet. If you Google the Splintersmith, you'll find me. Primarily, I try to be on Twitch. I'm in the Discord quite often. I'm also on a podcast called Soup Salad Sandwich, which we really ought to record for soon. And I've been in a different show, and it's over now. Season 1 is called Sporadic Phantoms. Look it up; it's fun. Anyway,
Q.
You guys can find me on Twitter at hello this is Q. I'm the exact opposite of Cory. I'm terminally online, so you can literally at any time of day just at me, and I will most likely respond.
And Alex.
I am on Twitter, my personal one, at Alex and Birds. If you want to hit me up there, I am mostly on the internet always. But I do podcasts. I am on one called Animorphs Anonymous. That's how Austin found me. We talk a lot about Animorphs, and now we talk about all the other Michael Grant and Catherine Applegate properties. I am on Horse Girls, which we say that we talk about horse novels, YA novels, but like really that's a front for what we fucking do on that show. Soup Salad Sandwich, you found out about that one. And occasionally on Cadmus to Crisis as well when we're not in hiatus. So those are all the places you can find me.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You got our Twitters. Tweet at us. You want the invite to the Discord? We'll let you in.
Yeah.
Our next session, our next stream is March. Yeah, March 13th. 11 AST, EST, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, fucking Cory.
There
AST.
may be some new project happening, but I don't know if that's ready to announce. I don't think it is. I'll shut up.
No. And
13th is daylight saving, so be there
Yeah.
or be square.
Don't fuck up the daytime savings.
and guess what Guess what the 13th is, guys? Start of book 2.
The Ides of March?
Yeah.
No, that's the 15th.
No.
Yeah.
Sunday the 13th. It's very spooky.
Ooh.
Yeah.
An auspicious day to
that's
start
when-
book 2.
It's an awesome day.
It's an Austin auspicious day to start book 2.
That's a suspicious day to start.
Sunday the 13th. It's the day that Jesus was drowned in Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh no.
Yeah. Fuck Camp Crystal Lake. We would still have Jesus if it wasn't
right.
for Camp Crystal Lake.
That's in the book of Jason. I remember now.
If we're gonna do that, then we're just gonna say fuck Pontius Pilate, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck 21 Pilots. We don't need them.
No,
No, it's
Pontius-
Cory. Cory said
What?
that.
Here. You can't talk about Q like
I
that.
said Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Do you?
Yeah, 21 Pilots.
It's
No.
from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, fuck the white
We gotta
stripes.
go. We gotta go.
I'm having an aneurysm in religious trauma.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.